He said that everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. He said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not a philosophy. This is physics. Match the frequency of the reality you want. He was in his early 50s, but you know, they hucked their house, they borrowed money, they took everything they had and plowed it into this company. Today, they're multimillionaires. They're virtually retired. They still work at it, but their son and grandsons run that business. And it's grown into a beautifully big business. It would never have happened if they hadn't followed their dream. I want you to follow yours. Understand this. If you can see it, you don't have to know how to get it. Your life will change. You see, you're a whole lot more than what you appear to be on the surface. Now, that would be a photograph of you if it was taken with a Kirlian camera. Semyon Kirlian perfected a form of photography where he photographs the body. And you look so much different than just in regular life. You see, you're so much more than you appear to be or even think you are. You already have within all that's required to attract, literally. You already have within all that's required to attract whatever you want into your life. How is yours changing? You cast off millions of cells, 40, 50 million cells per second, and you recreate more. Well, do you know that we can create the life we want? We can put ourselves into the vibration that we have to be in to attract what we want to attract. Think of this. If I hit my phone, hit send, and I had your number on it like that, the message would be on your phone. How's that happening? It's happening through vibration. That's really how it's happening. Well, you know, our whole world operates that way. It's so phenomenal. Now, I've put this together. Feeling is a word we invented to describe our conscious awareness of the vibration we're in. Whatever you impress, whether you imagine it, whether you hear it, read it, if you get emotionally involved in it, it's real. Now, that's pretty wild when you think about it. You see, it's what you impress upon the subconscious that controls the vibration you're in. The vibration you're in is the frequency that you're operating on. If you are operating on a negative frequency, you're going to feel bad. We all vibrate. We're on a level of vibration. Become tuned into your own feeling. And when you do that, everything in your life changes. Now let's look at this for a moment. This is rather interesting. Albert Einstein said something pretty interesting. He said that everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. He said, match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not a philosophy. This is physics. Match the frequency of the reality you want. There's no real growth to it. It's sort of a little game of manipulation. If she does this, if he does that, if I can get this, then I could reach this goal. I want you to really understand this law. And when you understand it, you're going to start to operate on a totally different vibration. You're going to move into a whole new world. You're going to start stretching. And that's what you really want to do. You see, you are God's highest form of creation. You have been built with mental tools that enable you to create. That's the C-type goal, a creative goal. This is going after what you really want. You don't know how to get it, but you know you're going to get it. Now stop and think in history. The Wright brothers didn't know how to get in the plane in the ground, but they knew they were going to get it in the ground. That's right. So let's talk about your power, your mind, and your paradigm. The paradigm is the programming in the subconscious mind that controls our behavior. Now, Fleet understood this. And he was very much into holistic health and very much into metaphysics. And he said, nobody's ever seen the mind. The mind is an activity. It's not a thing. And no one's ever seen it. He said, I am going to eliminate confusion. I'm going to make a picture of the mind. And he drew a picture. He says, just use your imagination, and this becomes the mind. Now look at that. Do you know that this is the most magnificent idea I've ever come across? in 55 years of studying ideas. I've got a beautiful library here. I have another one in the house. I'm in my studio right now. And we take that circle and we draw a line across. And then we say, that's the conscious mind, that's the subconscious mind, and then there's the body. Now, I want you to really play with this. That is, without question, the most valuable idea I've ever learned. Leland Bell Van der Waal, who's gone now, God bless him, he shared that with me. When the meeting was over, it was a couple of days, I went and asked him, I said, could I spend a couple hours with you? And I remember him looking at his watch and he said, I'd like to spend a couple hours with you, but he said, I got to catch a plane. And I said, I got to catch a plane too. I don't mean right now. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going home. He said, where do you live? And I said, Chicago. Well, he said, what are you doing out here? I said, I come out to hear you speak. I think he was impressed that I flew so far to listen to him. He said, I'm not going to be in Chicago anytime in the near future, but I'm going to be in Toronto. And I said, I'm actually from Toronto. I'll come over there and see you. It's only an hour away. And so I flew over. The two of us sat down, which was going to be for a couple hours. We were there for about 3 days. And he started to show me things about the mind.